the audio. Wait.
All right, and we should be live. Can I get an audio test, Thomas? Josh?
Yeah.
Is it up?
We got it.
Yeah.
All right, I'm told we do have audio, so we are a go for this draft. Welcome to the first inaugural Beast Brawl draft. I am your host, Will Hedgepeth. With me, I have the 5 captains here, as well as our league commissioner, Walker Ferris, who will be officiating, timing, and generally playing obnoxious music.
Yep.
So, without further ado, we'll put our first pick on the clock. Georgia Power Company, captained by Daniel O'Connell, is now on the clock.
Yeah, let's go, Daniel.
Choke.
Choose your pick.
He's only had like a week to prepare this draft, so it shouldn't take all 3 minutes.
Oh, here we go. If he picks who I need to pick, it might take me a while.
Yeah,
Did I say pick enough in that sentence?
if you pick who I
And
want.
can we cut the music?
Thank
you. And the first pick in the 2018 Beast Brawl draft, Mikey Hofstetter. Coming in with a Nav in the first slot here. A little bit of a shake-up here. A lot of draft experts did not expect that, but so it goes. And that takes Mike Hofstetter off the board here. So we're on to our second pick, and on the clock is Kyle Mason.
Could you put our names in red too, please? Oh, yes. No, I might still be drafted.
By who? Can I draft you?
Lancer's my first pick.
Here's my pick.
Hey.
9C1B.
All right, next pick is in. And Kyle takes the long boy, Grant Sloan, with pick number 2 in round 1.
He threw his out. Thank you. Needed to start to help me straight.
So it looks like the tallest pick of the team is off the board.
Is he ahead of you?
And now Team Yam Ranch, captained by Josh Burke, up with the 3rd pick in the draft, and it is Will DeVries.
Okay. Interesting. Okay.
So it looks like the second 2 picks really going with height here, valuing that varsity experience and that height.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if the trend continues with our failed tech expert Thomas Krugler here, who could not get the live stream going to save his life earlier.
Don't hear the sound of Thomas.
What did DeVries score on a 6 game?
And it doesn't look like Thomas has quite made his first pick, so we're going to go to our first sponsor programming here, and we're going to thank Kroger Baby Carrots. Zeb has not been picked yet, but once they knew Zeb was going to be kind of up there in the draft, Kroger Baby Carrots decided to throw us a sponsorship. All right.
Still picking?
And the 4th pick, yes. Kyle, shut up. And the 4th pick, H. Just the letter. So going, looks like the conspiracy to have H go last is foiled. Thomas was once again out of the loop on social trends here. So, and the last pick of the first round to Team Death Row, Grant Lancer, who is working on his pick as we speak. All right, and the 5th pick of the draft is in. Wow, okay. Kind of surprised this guy lasted this long, but Lancer is going with Connor Bayless, a fellow lightweight that can pull on the handle a little bit if he's not puking. All right. And it being a snake draft, we are going now round 2, starting once again with Lancer.
Alexa, stop.
Alexa, stop. Alexa, you muted the audio input.
This draft not brought to you by Alexa.
Yes, we do have an Amazon Alexa on this set, and it is causing problems because Walker does not know how to use it.
This post brought to you by Google Home Gang.
Matthew Davidson, I should have been in the first round.
I'm sorry, son.
All right, let's keep it down on the peanut gallery here. Keep it quiet, set, please. All right, and the 6th pick, first pick of round 2, picking up a novice here. JP goes number 6 overall.
Very interesting.
Now, Grant could be going for a reliable stroke seat here. JP was the stroke seat of the top novice 8 for a while, and stroke seats are at a premium here, with both the novice and varsity side not having a lot of extremely fast guys with some good stroke seat experience.
I believe in both of these.
So now on the clock, we've got Thomas Krugler again. Team Buoys in the Hood.
Oh.
You didn't pre-plan? No. I'm prepared for the next 2 drafts. Rounds.
I mean, I haven't read mine. I haven't written out though.
Oh, I know.
And the pick is in, and we have... Okay. Looks like the lightweights are getting some love here. Drake Riff going number 7, and some frustrated looks among the other captains here. Looks like they were counting on picking up a little riffle for their boat as well. And Josh Burke, always ready, comes in. Pick number 8. Lightweights get some love, and now the dad bods get some love. Sean Krautheim coming in as your 8th pick of this draft. And some congratulations going around on a solid pick. And we've got Kyle Mason on the clock next. Looks like his next pick is in. We will get to our sponsors shortly. Oh, drop that. And it's in the hummus.
Sponsored by.
Yeah, so we got a little hummus action here. Fittingly enough, with the hummus goes Zeb Page.
Oh.
Little hummus to go with those carrots we had earlier.
The first like 7 rounds.
Starting to notice a bit of a trend here is it's those numbers are going first. The raw erg scores, kind of raw erg scores, weight adjusted erg scores, are the first picks here from the captains. And we've got Daniel O'Connell back on the clock. And it looks like he has his pick ready. Will he keep the novice trend going?
Oh, what am I doing? Yeah. Let me put more.
And he will not. His next pick is Charlie Pettigrew. Charlie Pettigrew, next pick for the Georgia Power Company.
Oh, shit.
Bring in the weight and bring in the wattage with Pettigrew here. And back-to-back picks is what Daniel has going into the 3rd round here. It looks like he's got his next one in. Going back to the novices with Connor McGurk. Connor McGurk is the 11th pick, first pick of round 3. And a few more frustrated captains here as they were hoping he would stay on the board for a little longer, but not the case. Kyle Mason, 9 coxswains, 1 boat. And he has not gone with the 9 coxswains approach, so might have thrown his competitors off a little bit. But And it looks like Kyle's kind of taking his time here with this one, so we're actually going to go to another sponsor break. We would like to thank Vespoli
Hey, I might have an
for
We do not support.
the
Wintech gang.
Wintech gang.
Oh,
Wintech
not
gang.
that
for the use of so many of their older shells in our fleet.
Did you say older or did you mean to say shitty?
Older.
Yeah.
Who's got that timer going?
Hey, calm down
Yeah,
now.
same. It's been like a minute and a half.
Yeah, I have 3.
3.
Yeah, there's 3.
And it looks like Kyle's going to use all 3 of his minutes. He probably came in as the least prepared organization here. You know, a lot of you know, pre-draft work goes in for a lot of people, but not Kyle. He likes to shoot from the hip. And this shot is going out for. All right, Novice is getting some more love. Michael Martin now off the board.
Okay.
Pick number 12 to Big Mike.
Big Daddy. Alright.
So we are on round 3, pick 3, and Josh Burke is now on the clock. And he's going to be here for a while. So we're going to go to our next sponsor, and this is one that personally means a lot to me. So I'm going to switch hats, and the rest of this presentation is going to be brought to you by Bass Pro Shops.
Oh my god.
Few moans from the captains here, but you know, they make great hats. What can I say?
I must have hate you to say that.
That's usually what a sponsorship entails, Kyle. All right, looks like the pick is in for Yam Ranch. And the next participant at Yam Ranch will be Denham Jones. Denham Jones. So far, round 3 has been all novices. Interesting to see kind of where this is going to go. Is Thomas Krugler going to continue the trend, or are we going to see some more varsity picks come in here? It looks like Thomas is already writing his pick down. So unless he is trying to draw a picture to go with it, I should get it shortly. Appears to be using the entire note card, so we'll see where this goes. Thomas also wanted to throw out a quick sponsor shout out to Walker's mom. Definite supporter of UGA rowing. But we actually have our first coxswain off the board in round 3.
No!
Lauren
No!
Bird Queen Heflin is now off the board. And we'll see if this creates a chain reaction in the search for coxswains, or if people are going to go with those engine room rowers first.
Coxswains are basically the defense special.
Waiting on Grant Lancer here on the clock,
He's too big.
He's got to play this one.
and
I'm
he
so
has
scared.
back-to-back picks, and he looks like he's turning in both at the same time. Looks like some good preparation went into this for him.
Bananas fair.
What's he pick?
And the last pick of round 3 looks like Joel Mearsman. Joel Mearsman is off the board. Followed in quick succession by Gabriel Sullivan. Ruger. Hope I didn't mess that name up. Been on the team for a semester. I don't know how to say his last name. But Gabe. Gabe is now off the board. And rapid succession, we have Krugler's pick. And Krugler, after taking a coxswain in round 3, is taking a boat in round 4. This is insanity, folks. And he takes the beast, which means he's going to have a starboard stroke here. Just as a reminder, the beast 2006 Resolute midweight. So he's looking at a crew that's around 175, between 175 and 195 pounds. Doesn't want to be at the upper or lower end of that, outside that if he can be, for obviously optimal movement in the water from the boat. Josh Burke is now on the clock.
Yes, you are.
With Yam Ranch, he had the pick ready, and he's taking the dogfight. So the next boat is off the table, and we're getting some frustrated captains in here today. 2 boats off the table. The dogfight, not the newest, is a 2003 Quantum Midway. Some of the guys have really liked the way it rose, but it's a very recent refurbish by our boatman, Walker Ferris. Shout out to our boatman, Walker Ferris. Just as a note, Dogfight has a slightly lower weight class. Comes in 170 to 190. And it looks like Kyle's going to be going to the commish on this. So we have a rules question coming up here.
Yeah. Wait, Josh, did you pick?
Yeah.
You picked the dogfight.
Oh, that's right. Of course you picked dogfight. Of course you fuck.
So, looks like by the numbers, we've still got 1, 2, 3, 4 varsity rowers left, as well as most of our coxswains, novice and varsity. Quite a few novice names left up there. And it looks like the pick is in, and it will be the red purple oars are now off the board. So it looks like people are just kind of trying to grab their advantages equipment-wise at this point, and it's a rush, a real rush for the coxswains and equipment now. People want to make sure they don't get stuck with the bottom of the barrel here.
I want y'all to know I will be messing with you boats.
Cool.
So the red purple oars, the number 1 set of oars on the list. They are 2014 Croakers with slick blades and blue foam grips.
I accidentally highlighted something as green. But it's
Really,
okay, 'cause I can't see
really
it.
scintillating stuff there with the oar pick.
All that matters is it's highlighted. Wait,
We've got Lancer on the clock still.
wait, really?
No, it's O'Connell.
It's me.
Oh, never mind, my fault.
Yeah, it's
O'Connell.
O'Connell.
Daniel O'Connell is on the clock. Apologies, folks. Apologies. And it looks like the pick is in.
Both my picks.
Both his picks are here. Somebody's building an engine room here. We've got Hayes and Bryce as our next 2 picks. Hayes Way and Bryce Mickelson. 2 of the engine room novices from this year. Big, strong, boat-moving guys there. And back on the clock is Kyle Mason.
Wait, walk over your phone again.
Looks like we've got another question for the commish here. So, just kind of looking down the list, it looks like Georgia Power Company has, at this point, 6 rowers. Mason, with 9 coxswains, 1 boat, is looking at 4 rowers and a set of oars. Yam Ranch and Josh Burke has 4 rowers and a boat. Buoys in the Hood
Oh my god.
has 3 rowers, a coxswain, and a boat. But did get first pick on both the coxswain and the boat. And Grant Lancer with Death Row is at 5 rowers.
I assume you're counting me.
Yes, of course.
Okay, they are counting. I'm not playing.
All right. And we've got our second coxswain off the board, folks. It is Michael Stopper. A little bit of a wild card pick there. Michael Stopper going number 2 in round 5. And coming right up, we've got the next pick, Josh Burke, ready and waiting. Not going to use up a pick on the coxswain here. Instead, going back for a rower and is picking up Jacobus Abrahamsey.
Daniel's pissed.
Yep. Another couple of frustrated captains again here. And Thomas Krugler now on the clock. I can't make your pick for you, Thomas.
Yes.
No, I need your coach advice.
No.
What?
No.
Bullshit, no.
Kyle's fucking texting
I
me.
know, I'm asking I asked about
What are the color of the top fours?
All right, we're going to pause this really quick on the audio and get
breaking the fucking rules. All right.
Hey, we're back live with the audio.
Fucking Animal House.
You shut your mouth when you're talking to me like that.
Follow your own rules.
I didn't set the rules, Walker did. I was not aware of that rule.
I just
I had already
cut to the basic
indicated-
rules. I didn't remember that rule honestly.
Okay, so we had a brief little rules question here. The commission's ruled. It's okay. I haven't done anything wrong. And the next pick
We're here.
for Buoys in the Hood, Eric Bryant.
Fucking hell.
And we are now getting some vocal anger out of the other captains. A lot of that frustration coming from Grant Lancer here, who had the next two picks.
I do get
So
6 minutes.
might have had that planned out.
get
No,
3
you
minutes.
get
No,
3 minutes for your first pick
All right, fine.
and 3 more
turn in
from
your-
the time you turn
No,
that
you
in
should
for your
wait.
next pick.
So strategically wait.
Having to teach Grant the strategic
I want
aspects
people to like
of
me.
the draft here. Kind of an explanation there to him that
I got
once he turns in that first pick, he has 3 minutes for the second one. He really wants to take his time here for that second pick, the first pick of round 6 that'll be coming up for him. And we are running out of sponsors, but everybody does like a good carb load. And for that, we bring you yours pastas. This is one of Coach Walker's particular favorites, the angel hair variety. A little thinner on the spaghetti. Oh, and as always, 100% whole grain.
Good choice. And now this is improving. Pasta is better, but not pasta. At will.
That was like a year ago, man. Drop it.
Yeah, that's it, dog. Come on.
Looks like his
Dude, all the picks
first pick is in. And Grant is taking the champ. So there goes 3 boats off the board. So remaining, you have the Leviathan and the Santuri. Just as a reminder to the audience out there, the champ is a 2005 Vespoli midweight. So it is the lightest as far as weight class of the boats we have available for picking today. Comes in at a 150 to 180 weight range, which kind of goes in line with what Grant's picks have been so far. It looks like his heaviest pick so far has actually been JP, who comes in at only 173 pounds. So it looks like Grant might be going for the lightweight lineup here. Let's see if he can keep it going with his next couple picks, though.
Oh, he picked Bo.
Who's got a 15?
I don't care about that.
And the next pick is coming in. And we will be the next pick.
Oh, interesting.
a solid technical rower. I definitely will say he's been a picket stroke seed a few times this year, in the novice eights, and made a definite improvement, definite PR on his 6K today. And stays in line with Death Row's mantra right now, which is lightweights for life. And Thomas Krugler is now on the clock, poring over the tablet here. We'd also like to thank Habersham Properties, the official property management company of where 2/3 of our coaching staff resides.
R.I.P. Coach Jack.
And the next pick, Matt Davison.
Okay.
Matt Davison going to the buoys in the hood.
Don't even think about picking what I think you're gonna pick up.
What do you think I'm gonna get?
And Matt also came in with a PR today, as did most of the novice guys, and in fact all of the novice men picked so far, with the exception of Mikey, have PR'd today. So good to see from that squad, and it looks like the captains are seeing that and respecting that as well. We've got Yam Ranch with the next pick. Next pick will be Will McGonigal, going weight adjusted here, on the lighter end, but has been technically solid on the erg today, and then Josh kind of might have seen something today on the erg that he liked.
I saw his back muscles.
He says he had to sit there and watch his back muscles during the 6K, and that is the reason for his pick.
How else would you pick?
Yam Ranch doesn't do it any other way, folks.
18 naked rowers in the bow seat of Yam Ranch.
You are a monster.
These comments in the audience are not approved by Safe Sport.
No, they're not.
We'd also like to thank Safe Sport for keeping us safe.
I'm pretty sure Daniel and I have already physically threatened each other.
Oh my, yeah, we were close.
And then my laptop fell.
And it looks like Mason is over here at our big draft board, bringing that pick on over. Going back to the varsity and back to the power with Trip Brown.
Got a big boy boat.
So, in his own words, going for the big boy boat. Let's hope he actually does get a big boy boat to fit him in.
There are only two left, and they're both big.
And they're both big. That is true. Yeah, that does put Kyle Mason with a lot of the taller, bigger, stronger guys so far. So we'll see if it pays off here, or if he'll be looking from the bottom of the pack on race day, wishing he had picked weight adjusted scores. One thing we look at a lot, when we're making lineups as coaches, and one thing that I value a lot, though, is how a group works together. And if he's able to go with a theme here, of having those big, strong guys and getting, for the most part, most of them so far, it could pay off. And if those guys can match up well, and they can swing together and put their weight into it, I have no reason to believe that he couldn't put a fast boat together with that group.
Collusion.
Hey, we have a pseudo alliance.
What?
No.
talked about
There's
this
no
in Valley.
collusion. No collusion at all.
Oh, but you can answer questions?
Well, collusion's an obvious crime. So
We said the deadline was 12, and then you answered the question.
now I know the deadline's 12. I won't answer any more questions, Grant.
We should all get one question.
Yeah, the start time was also supposed to be 7:30.
Are you aware that you have far more starboards than far more ports than starboards?
My boat's balanced.
Wait, which one are you talking about? Me?
It's 48% port, 26.1% starboard, and the rest are boat.
What are you talking about?
I mean, so count the boats as ports. I don't know.
That's so nice.
What do you want me to do?
No, it's just for Will.
A little bit of
You're slightly better.
little bit of griping on the side selection indicated by the coaches here.
Just tell me when I'm almost out of time.
You're probably almost out of time on their first pick.
Yeah, you're pretty close here. Like 20 seconds, kind of close.
Daniel's really contemplating this one.
How much time does he have?
Shut up.
About 10 seconds now.
Oh, you.
10, 9, 8, and the pick comes in. What? There's 3 picks on this card.
No, one's scratched out.
Oh, he's putting
That's-
in 2 picks.
No, that's a name.
Oh, okay.
Dude,
Got
you
it.
don't even know your
Got it.
house's name? Come on.
No. I thought that was somebody else's name after
is
that
it
one.
Riley? Is it Riley?
Scratch that shit out.
All right, so the next 2 picks, both novices for Georgia Power Company, picking up Lance Fountain and Riley Ridley.
Rodier.
Rodier.
Come on.
Rodier. I was thinking draft, Calvin Ridley, go Falcons. Sorry. So we are into round 7.
Yep.
And it looks like Daniel has, at this point, enough rowers to fill a boat. So he is the first to complete all the necessary rowers. So at this point, any rowers picked up for Georgia Power Company will be to kind of fill in for practices, maybe get a chance to work their way into a boat, and contribute to the team fundraising efforts here. We've got Kyle Mason up there looking at the big board, making his next selection. We have had some injuries and sicknesses kind of affecting, so not everyone's 6K today. Gives the captains a little bit of a rough time kind of trying to figure that out. The next pick, Reese Brown. Reese Brown going to 9 coxswains, 1 boat. Yam Ranch up next. So that leaves 9 coxswains, 1 boat. Already having the 1 coxswain they actually need, as well as their oars. Having 6 rowers as well, so they're still in need of 2 rowers and a shell for that squad. A little bit of strategy here because Mason does get his next pick before Daniel O'Connell's next pick comes up. So maybe I'm thinking because he and O'Connell are the last 2 in need of a boat, he's going to wait. We'll see how long he waits though. And the next coxswain is off the board, and on her way to Yam Ranch is Morgan Godby.
Gross.
Don't think she'll quite fit in at Yam Ranch, but it's okay for the purposes of this race. And it seems like Kyle Mason has to use the restroom, so Kyle Mason will be stepping out here. No, Krugler's on the clock, and then it's Lancer, and then Krugler, and then Burke, and then Mason again. So he has some time unless people actually take, do their picks quickly. Definitely getting into the part of the draft here where, it's tough to plan for these situations. You know kind of who your top guys are that you want to take off the board, but at this point, a lot of people's, round 5, 6, 7 picks may have gotten taken by somebody else. So definitely a little more reactionary planning here for these. We're gonna go though to our next sponsor, right down the road, and our some of our coaches' favorite is Callie and Tito's with the chips here. So Walker's making sure that the commentary does not get too dry. Got a little salt to it.
Soundtrack.
And some solid chips from Callie and Tito's here.
You got 130 left.
I don't know.
130 left on the clock.
Morgan got picked.
Oh, okay.
Still waiting on Thomas here. He's got the tablet, the big board, the pen and paper. What's it gonna be though?
I wanted that one. That was probably the hardest. No, the hardest one for me was. I want to drink. I want to drink. Really bad. Case early.
Going with a rower here. We've got Matt Hukin next off the board. And some expletives coming out of the restroom where Burke is draining the main vein. We've got Lancer coming up with the next 2 picks. Looks like Death Row. Still in need of 2 rowers. They have a shell. Still in need of 2 rowers. And coxswain and some oars to round out the necessary picks to get a crew boated here. Remember, after 8 rowers in your shell, you are still picking up additional rowers as part of the fundraising effort of your team. And those actually may come in handy as well as they try to get these boats on the water. Having those extra rowers can lead to some, and potentially extra coxswains as well. Could lead to that flexibility in getting out on the water that makes a difference in the boat rowing together on race day. Interesting to see how these captains approach that here today. Be interesting to see where those backup rowers and coxswain end up going. No, that's not a sponsor. Definitely want to throw out another thank you to Callie and Tito's. Keeping me fed. Did not have time to eat after the guy's 6Ks, so definitely a big thank you to Callie and Tito's.
You got a minute on your first pick. Also, if you look at the draft board, it just
I'm looking now.
For anybody that may be wondering,
Why are you, dude? Come on.
got some sauce from Callie and Tito's, and it's actually got a little bit of a sweet kick to it. A little bit different. One of the better sauces I've had here lately. And it looks like all the varsity are now off the board with Will Fernandez going as the 5th pick in round 7 to Death Row.
Oh, yeah. Interesting.
Will
Out of his weight class.
Fernandez.
He had like.
And Will Fernandez actually does come in as the heaviest in the Death Row lineup so far.
It is interesting.
That was
Yeah. Wait, you can pick the boat yet?
Yeah,
you picked the champ.
Okay.
So Will Fernandez did come in with a solid PR today. Got it under 155. So that has, all of these varsity guys that are gone now are under 155 on their 6Ks.
Really gonna throw you off for a trip.
Grant saying that he's about to throw everyone for a trip, but unfortunately Trip is already off the board. I can't read this.
You are illiterate. Sorry, Grant, it's not you.
Who is that?
Wait, can I see what it said?
Oh, okay. You know his last name starts with an R, not an M?
Yeah, it's an R, don't worry.
Sure, I'll take your word for it. Your R's look like M's, buddy. And Griffin, next pick. First pick of round 8. Griffin picked up here.
You're fine.
Wait, can I see how he spelled like it the first time? How'd that shit
I
look?
just wrote it quick.
Apparently that's supposed to be
What?
his last.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's an M.
That's it. Thank
Alright.
you. That's an M.
I wrote it
That's an
quick.
M.
Get over it.
We are in agreement. And Krugler now on the clock here. So that does take care of the rowers for death row. Now, and they have a shell as well. So, you know, we'll see here if Grant's next two picks do end up being a Coxon and Oars, or if he goes for that backup rower to try to get some lineup flexibility in for those practices.
The only, if I had to say right now, my preference would probably be Leviathan just because it's Portuguese. No,
Someone cut
Seems
him
like
over.
we may have some more collusion going on.
Okay, sure.
I would not.
115.
I would not say that the Centurion and Levi are equal.
Just as a reminder, we still have the Leviathan and Dogfight as far as shells. Leviathan is 2 years newer, but probably in a good bit better shape. They're both the same weight class, so both coming in, you know, wanting to boat a crew between 175 and 205 pounds.
They're actually 30 people watching.
Drake says that you eating Calientito chips is ASMR.
What does that even mean? And the next pick is in. And Krugler going with Philip Hutton as pick 2 of round 8. Bit of a rough erg test today from Philip, but has been boated in the B boat lineup for many of the races this year. A lineup that has performed pretty well overall. So could have been a sleeper pick though. Looking past the numbers here, or it could come back to bite him if that doesn't.
I believe in you, son. Don't listen to Will.
And Thomas pronouncing his faith in Phillips' abilities here. Yam Ranch next up on the clock. And Josh Burt does have his boat and his coxswain. Okay. Looks like he will be taking another coxswain. So in only the 8th round, Josh Burke has picked up Kyle Renner.
Fucking power play, Jesus Christ, man.
So,
You think about 8 rowers?
He's gonna make him row. Oh my God.
so there are definitely some ideas being thrown out here. That gives Team Yam Ranch both Morgan Gubby and Kyle Renner.
Holy crap.
So the
You guys can trade me for a
3rd and 4th coxswains off the board here. That might put coxswains at a little more of a premium, and some captains are saying that he may try to make Renner row. Keep in mind, Renner did have a medal-winning performance in the coxswain category at Atlanta Erg Sprints. Definite possibility here.
He's also rode a pair one time.
He has also rode a pair one time.
He rode a
I'm
double
hearing
with
from
me.
Walker.
Lauren.
You wrote a double.
Lauren
with
actually
me,
wrote
and it was
double.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Lauren stroked our 8 for a start sequence.
Lauren has more appearances at Charles than most people in this room.
Oof. Yeah.
We're now debating the merits of coxswain rowing here in the draft room. So
Nice.
Thanks. Want to make her better though.
You're an asshole.
Mason here is still poring over the big draft board we have up
Good pick.
on the TV.
Thank you.
Good grab.
just as a reminder, he does have his oars and his coxswain,
Has Levi been picked
but
up?
does not have a
We've seen
shell.
Levi Santuri.
And in round 8, still needs 2 rowers to fill out an 8, as well as a shell to put him in.
You have 15 seconds.
I got it.
15 seconds on the clock. Looks like he's writing it and bringing it in now. And the 4th pick of round 8, Reed Sams. Reed coming in as the 4th pick in round 8.
Didn't have him like that.
I don't even have him on my dock either because I was told he wasn't eligible.
Well, it's back on here.
Yeah, he's on it.
Yeah, but I have
I
my
have
own
received
data.
word from a concerned viewer that we can hear all of Will's chewing.
It's ASMR though.
I'm hungry. Fine. I'll stop eating.
Thank you.
Is there any chance this is being recorded so I
He's
can
not
have
giving her
a
the bone.
later?
Just give it the fucking.
Yes, it is being recorded as well.
Fantastic.
So, years down the line, when this is a big tradition,
This is fucking awesome.
we're gonna look back and be able to have
Stressful. Wait,
that
is it your pick?
video proof
No,
of
he
the
was picking-
first
Definitely your pick.
draft.
It's your pick.
It's you. And you
Me?
got like
And
a
you have
minute
2
left.
back to back.
No. Oh, he's got it.
He's good.
Looks like he's ready. With 1, 2, here we go.
This doesn't
And
help
he
me.
is going to take a boat and a coxswain here, going for the R Santuri over the Leviathan.
What?
Must be looking for a starboard stroke here, as well as coxswain Rebecca Rankin.
Oh,
First novice coxswain off the board here.
interesting.
It's also 50% of the novice coxswains.
True.
Give me the bone.
Might be trying to just snag a coxswain before they're all off the board here.
Oh, I'm picking a big oxen.
So wait, did you put in both of yours?
As a reminder,
Yeah,
Rebecca did spend 2 out of the 3 fall races as the top novice coxswain before kind of giving way to Berkeley in the final race of the season at Head of the South.
How much time do I have left?
Yeah, like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Kill.
We really are getting into crunch time here with some of these picks.
Can we block out Leslie also?
Is it really that big of a deal, man?
He's not eligible.
Yeah, he can't race.
I keep looking at it.
I also might have put him down as who it was.
Oh, no. Who says cannot race?
Yeah, I know, but
What's an average split of a 146.5 right
Mr.
now?
Bobs!
Jesus.
do you have all the stickiness or whatever?
Mr. Bobs!
Wait, there's no way that's possible. How the fuck did they do that?
Yeah, cause yeah, no.
Senor Bobs. Senor Bobs is so funny.
I'm still really happy with my
Just give her a damn.
And the second pick of round 9, Ryan Wenner.
You motherfucker! That's my son!
Sorry.
Wait, who'd you pick?
Coming in
Wenner.
as pick 2.
Because he's a winner.
Ooh!
So that does give Mason's team, I believe, their 8th rower. So now just kind of waiting on a shell from that group. Of course, all of the other shells are taken. So by default, Kyle's going to end up with a Leviathan.
Why
But
would you say that? You might have wasted a pick on it.
strategically, that does give him earlier picks on his alternates, and or oars. Never mind, he already has oars.
Wait.
Yes, he does already have oars. I stand corrected. Thank you, Walker. So might be looking to pick up kind of the earlier picks on the backup rowers here. And Josh Burke with Yan Ranch coming in. He off the board.
Oh, he is.
He's off the board. Yeah.
Fuck.
Who's it?
Failed pick there.
Yeah, he's my boy.
Epic fail.
Shut the fuck up.
I'll trade you a Coxon for him.
That's funny.
Trades cannot happen until after the live stream's over.
No. Sorry, Coxon.
And with pick 3, round 9, we've got Pato.
Is it you, Josh?
Yeah, I was told that he's good on the water. We'll see.
Wait, who?
Well,
So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 7th rower for Yam Range. So still in need of one rower, unless he's gonna have Morgan or Kyle racing as a rower here. We'll see what happens. Could use the 2 Coxons for trade purposes, or could try to use them to open up his practice possibilities.
Oh.
That's a move.
Waiting on Krugler here,
Okay.
oh, you fucking idiot.
who didn't even have a piece of paper and had no idea he was up.
We got like, what, 3 left? Yeah, can I have my dog? Okay, let's go.
And next pick, 2 boys in the hood, Drew Hoffmaster.
God bless.
Alright. And the next next 2 picks here for Death Row, going with the Coxon and Oars, and Emily Kaysen and the Red Blue Oars are going to Death Row.
No, that's my first thought.
Yeah.
Can I take 2 sets?
I'll take the
No.
boys, I don't care.
Oh man, I should have drafted Chandler.
Fuck.
Wait, can I take that back?
No.
No.
Technically,
No. Your picks are in.
No TT's backsies.
Now we're enforcing the rules.
I
Unlike
know, right?
earlier, You know,
Yeah.
when
Not
the
on
jailbird
board.
over here was breaking the rules.
Hey. It was just a speeding ticket.
Super speedy.
We did have an issue earlier today. Our entire audio-visual team actually got pulled over. Hence the delay in the live stream coming up for you guys.
I set up a Twitch channel in under 30 minutes. Thank you.
Did you set up a working Twitch channel?
No. Next time, you can do it.
So as he continues to talk crap to everyone in the room, we are still waiting on Thomas Krugler's pick.
Clarification, but it's understood.
And he's going to go with the red-orange oars. So it looks like only 2 sets of oars remain. Both croakers are off the board. And the red-orange are the Concept 2 Smoothie 2. Those are the ones with the blue foam inner grips, green rubber outer grips.
I'll take the Woody's. I do not care. We'll do it now.
Solid handles there. That leaves up the red-green and red-yellow. The red-yellow are the wood handles. Little old-school throwback. And the red-greens are the green rubber handles. Big thing about those is those do have a different blade design. Those are the fat blades from Concept 2. A little bit bigger surface area than the rest of the blades there. So we'll see if the captains here want a certain blade shape or handle, and see where they go with that.
years ago. For the Hobbs. Oh, we totally did. As long as it's
Yeah,
not
we-
raining, you're fine.
Yeah, I don't care about. I'll take whichever ores.
Let's say like grease them all up.
Greasy boy.
Still waiting on Yam Ranch here.
Oh, it's my turn.
Yes, it's your turn.
How much time does he have?
He's got
Time
like.
check.
Oh, he knows his pick. He knows
Yeah,
120.
I know who I want.
Who's gonna
And
grip another copy?
Philip.
What?
Philip McCreary here.
Was he not off the board? Was he still on the board already?
I got mine already.
That
Oh, he's still on the board?
gives
Son of a bitch.
that gives Burke his final rower,
Yeah, it does.
and it looks like
I need a court.
Kyle Mason will now take a second coxswain. Berkeley Chandler
You know what's up?
next off the board. We're back to Georgia Power Company and Daniel
You got two,
O'Connell.
Daniel.
Wait.
What if I just
Oh, okay, I see what's going on. I mean, the choice is easy.
what if I just what if I
Because
just
you gotta choose it by default.
what if I case
I'm
of
gonna
that?
go.
What if I just don't
Wait,
pick
you
ores?
just took the Woodies from Burke?
Wait, did you already choose them?
No,
No.
he hasn't. You should take
I
it
haven't-
because he
I-
wants the Woodies.
I said I don't give a shit what ores I get.
Honestly,
Hey,
There was a
language,
difference.
language. This is a PG-13 broadcast.
You can say shit in PG-13.
Yeah, you can.
Only
And
once.
you get
Only
one,
once.
No, you get one fuck. You can say shit like as many times as you want.
That's it.
There goes all of our expletives limitations. So we're done with expletives here.
No, we have unlimited numbers of shit.
Oh, shit.
yeah, but only fricks from here on out.
Okay.
Freaks and craps.
Frick.
And
Don't worry,
we've
we'll get
got taking the Woodies and Tree here. So Tree, first pick round 11
I guess
or
I
last
think
pick round
all-
10. Wasn't really spelled out there. So
Draft's over.
I haven't put in my last pick yet.
Well, I can't pick extra ores. So.
and kind of stuck with the last pick there. Is Mason with the Leviathan. Didn't really have another choice. Had to pick up a boat. And then we've got Josh Burke coming in with red-green ores.
The handles slide.
Yeah, you know what? Whatever. I don't care.
I don't care anymore.
My rowers will.
And it looks like
Don't need a
the
limit. We're like those interstate
board
kids.
is empty. Lineups. Those teams will come out. You guys can expect your
Hold on, I have another pick.
The board's empty.
board's empty. All right. So it looks like the
Pieces I can draft.
board's empty, and you guys can expect to hear from your captains, your team captains, in the next little bit. As a reminder, trade deadline is
11:20 at midnight.
The 20th?
the 20th
Tuesday.
at midnight, so Tuesday at midnight. Make sure you get your schedules and your captains when they ask so that they can make sure that you guys get an opportunity to get out on the water together. Kamish, you got anything else?
Nah, I'm good.
All right. Well, Will Hedgepeth signing off with a little Monday Night Football music for you. Good night and God bless.
I'm happy.